Back in 2013, researchers at these major universities, they predicted that artificial intelligence would replace truck drivers long before it could ever write a decent poem or pass a difficult exam.
Right, and here we are a decade later.
Exactly. We still have this massive global shortage of truck drivers, but AI just won a state fine arts competition. I mean, it passed the bar exam for lawyers, and it is actively writing complex software code. We got the future completely backward.
We really did. Welcome, everyone, to the Coffee English podcast. We are so happy to welcome you to the channel today. We are taking a deep dive into this fascinating and, well, somewhat terrifying shift in how we work.
Yeah, and a quick note before we really jump in. This deep dive is mainly designed for English learners with a B1 to B2 level.
But of course, anyone can listen, learn, and enjoy the conversation.
Absolutely. We try to speak clearly and just, slightly slower so you can catch every single idea.
And please, leave a comment under the video sharing your own opinion about today's topic. We really love reading your thoughts. You can also suggest a new topic for our future deep dives.
Oh, definitely. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, leave a like, and recommend the Coffee English podcast to a friend if you enjoy the show. So our mission today is to explore this massive wave of anxiety around automation and artificial intelligence. I mean, are we all going to be replaced by machines, or will we find a new way to work together?
To understand the future of the job market, we really have to start by analyzing the anxiety people are feeling right now. Like, why does this specific wave of technology feel so much more overwhelming than the machines of the past?
Well, let me propose a theory here. We have had machines for hundreds of years, right?
Oh, sure.
The sight of giant robotic arms assembling cars on a factory floor, that's totally normal for us. Nobody panics when they see a forklift lifting a heavy box.
Right, it's just standard industry.
But this feels different because it crosses a boundary. We always assumed our ability to think, to reason, and create. Well, we thought that was our permanent advantage over machines.
You are hitting on the exact psychological trigger there. We're experiencing a shift from physical automation to, well, cognitive automation.
Cognitive meaning anything related to thinking, right?
Exactly, mental processes. For centuries, humans had this very neat binary view of the world. The heavy lifting belonged to the machines.
And the heavy thinking belonged to us.
Right. Now, software is doing the thinking. I mean, it is processing language, it's writing marketing copy, generating complex business strategies.
But I want to push past just the economic fear. If we instituted a universal basic income tomorrow, and everyone's rent was fully paid, I believe people would still be panicking.
Oh, absolutely.
Because we define ourselves by what we do. So let's unpack this. Is this just a fear of losing income, or is the fear of becoming entirely unnecessary what is really driving this panic?
That is incredibly accurate. Society has conditioned us to, link our personal value to our economic utility.
Right, our jobs give us meaning.
Exactly. Work provides the structure of our daily lives, our social networks, and our sense of purpose. So when a machine can write a complex legal document in 3 seconds...
A task that a human lawyer spent 7 years in university learning how to do.
Yes. It completely shakes the absolute foundation of that lawyer's identity. We are not just asking, how will I pay my bills? We are asking, well, what is my purpose?
And since we are feeling threatened about losing our purpose, people often point to history for comfort. You hear economists say, don't worry, technology always creates more jobs than it destroys.
It is a common argument, yeah.
But I find that comforting view a bit too simple for what is happening today.
Well, it is comforting, but we need to look at the actual numbers and the historical mechanics to really understand it. Think about the year 1915 in the United States.
Okay, 1915.
There were roughly 26 million horses used for transport, farming, and just daily life.
Wow, 26 million.
Yeah, and by the 1930s, because of the automobile, that entire ecosystem of stable hands, carriage drivers, and blacksmiths was collapsing.
Right, the horses were replaced by engines.
Yes, but simultaneously, the automobile industry exploded. The number of new jobs created for mechanics, road pavers, and gas station attendants far outnumbered the horse-related jobs that were lost.
So the whole landscape just shifted.
Exactly. We saw the same thing with the invention of the personal computer. It eliminated typing pools and manual filing clerks, but it created millions of jobs for software programmers, IT specialists, and web designers.
So the historical pattern shows that machines eventually transition from being a threat to becoming a tool.
Exactly. The technology usually changes work rather than completely removing it.
Here is where it gets really interesting, though. It is easy for us to look back at the horse and buggy days and say it worked out, But for the person driving the horse, that transition must have been terrifying.
Oh, it was brutal. If we connect this to the bigger picture, the macro level result is job creation, sure. But the micro level reality requires massive, painful adaptation.
Right, because the carriage driver could look at a car engine, physically touch it, and learn to become a mechanic. He interacted with the physical world.
That is a crucial difference.
If our new engines are these invisible algorithms doing complex cognitive work in the cloud, how do we even know which human skills are safe? I mean, a carriage driver can learn to fix a car. Can a data analyst learn to fix a neural network that teaches itself?
That is a brilliant challenge, and it highlights how much harder the micro-reality is today. The carriage driver doesn't automatically become an AI mechanic overnight.
So if history shows us that work changes, we really need to map out exactly what is on the chopping block right now. Which specific tasks are actually at risk today?
The dividing line today is predictability. Any job built on repetitive tasks and predictable routines is highly vulnerable.
So like data entry, administrative tasks.
Yes. Manufacturing work, certain financial summaries. Machine learning models process billions of data points to predict the next logical step.
So if your job involves transferring numbers from an invoice to a database, you are competing against a system that can do it millions of times a second without making a typing error.
Exactly. You cannot compete with a machine on predictability.
That makes total sense for repetitive data.
Yeah.
So, what is safe?
The safest jobs are those requiring complex human interaction, empathy, and emotional understanding. Things robots still heavily struggle with.
Roles like teachers, nurses, therapists.
Exactly. These roles remain incredibly difficult to automate because they require reading unsaid emotional cues and building trust.
Okay, I am going to point out the human element here and challenge that boundary. If an AI has read every medical and psychology textbook ever written, why can't it be a therapist?
Well, it theoretically knows more psychological frameworks than any human doctor, yes.
Right. It could diagnose my problem instantly.
It could diagnose the problem, sure, but human jobs rely heavily on trust and emotional context. Humans understand nuance in ways machines simply don't.
But the AI has analyzed millions of conversations. It knows exactly what to say to sound empathetic.
Yes, but let's look at how it works. A language model doesn't think. It uses probability to predict the most likely next word. Think of an AI as a highly advanced mirror.
A mirror, okay.
It reflects the syntax and structure of empathy, but there is no glass behind the mirror.
There was no actual life experience behind the words.
Exactly. The machine has never felt pain, it has never felt fear, and it has never felt grief.
And human relationships rely on shared vulnerability.
Yes. When a patient receives a terrifying medical diagnosis, an AI can provide the perfect treatment data. But the patient knows the machine does not understand their fear. While a robot can give you data, it cannot forge a genuine, empathetic relationship.
That mirror analogy is incredibly helpful. The patient knows there are no shared stakes. The machine risks nothing, so the comfort feels empty.
Right, the human element is irreplaceable there.
But we know deeply emotional jobs are safe. What about the messy middle? Most of us aren't doing repetitive data entry, but we aren't therapists either.
Right, the average office worker.
What happens to the millions of office workers sitting at desks, writing strategies, and organizing teams?
This is where we are seeing the most rapid transformation. AI is dramatically speeding up office work. Writing reports, analyzing information, creating presentations.
So AI is acting like a tireless, lightning-fast co-pilot.
Exactly. Crucially, AI is replacing certain tasks, not entire professions. Let's take a specific example. Imagine an operations director trying to optimize a global supply chain.
Okay.
10 years ago, they needed a team of junior analysts to spend a week reading emails from suppliers, checking shipping logs, and putting everything into a spreadsheet.
It was incredibly slow, tedious work.
Yes. Today, that director can feed 10,000 international shipping logs into an AI and ask it to find the bottlenecks. It can translate the documents and highlight the exact factory causing the delay in about 30 seconds.
Wow, so it's like having a brilliant intern who still needs adult supervision. But wait, what does this all mean for our resumes? Are we going to be hired just for our emotional intelligence?
What's fascinating here is that the so-called soft skills will become the new hard skills.
The human advantage.
Yes. Problem solving, communication, adaptability, and relationship building will be the most valuable assets because the technical execution is being automated.
But let's look at the consequences of automating those entry-level tasks. If the AI does all the gathering and sorting, how do those junior employees ever train to become senior leaders?
That is a massive issue. Companies are eager to save money by automating junior tasks, but they don't realize they are accidentally destroying their own training ground.
Because the tasks we consider basic or boring are actually how humans build intuition. If you never write the basic code yourself, you won't have the deep knowledge required to spot the subtle errors an AI might make later on.
Precisely. A human with intuition catches a complex error in a supply chain route that fails in the real world. A human who just relies on the machine entirely misses it. Workers who learn to use AI effectively will become vastly more productive.
Since the tools we use in the office are evolving so rapidly, it seems like our entire approach to education and career planning has to fundamentally shift.
Oh, without a doubt. Many of the jobs of the future simply don't exist yet.
Right. If you went back 30 years and mentioned a social media manager or an app developer or an AI engineer, nobody would know what you meant.
Exactly. Technology constantly creates unexpected opportunities. The old model of learning one profession and keeping it forever is dead.
So continuous, lifelong learning will become the normal way of life, especially in tech fields. To adapt to change, curiosity is no longer just a personality trait, it's a survival mechanism.
I love how you put that. It is absolutely a survival mechanism.
It sounds like life is becoming an endless software update for our brains. You can never just say, okay, I am fully installed, I am done learning.
This raises an important question, though. Being adaptable is the only way forward. A rigid mindset is the true danger here.
So the future belongs to flexible learners.
Exactly. People who maintain their curiosity and enjoy the process of learning new things. That flexibility will be the ultimate shield against becoming obsolete.
We have covered so much fascinating ground today, but before we wrap up, let's take a few minutes to break down some of the key English phrases and vocabulary we used in today's deep dive.
Yes, I love this part of the show. Learning these specific terms really helps our listeners discuss modern technology with confidence.
Let's start with a phrase we used early on, cognitive automation.
Okay, so the word cognitive relates to anything involving thinking, reasoning, or remembering. And automation means using machines or software to do work automatically.
So cognitive automation is when machines start doing the mental, thinking work like analyzing data instead of just the physical work like lifting heavy boxes.
That perfectly explains the shift we are seeing. Next, we talked about the messy middle. This is a great idiom.
Yes, I really love this phrase.
It refers to the complex, sometimes confusing area between two extremes. In our discussion, the two extremes were highly repetitive factory work on one side and deep emotional therapy on the other.
So the messy middle represents the everyday office jobs that are somewhere in between. Not entirely robotic, but not purely emotional either.
Exactly. Fantastic. What about black box algorithm? You used that when we were challenging the historical comparison with the carriage driver.
Right, a black box is a concept used in science and computing. It describes a system where you can see what data goes in and you can see what answer comes out, but you cannot see or understand how the system works on the inside.
So a black box algorithm is an AI program that makes complex decisions, but its internal logic is hidden. Even the programmers who built it often don't fully understand exactly how it arrived at a specific conclusion.
Which definitely makes the technology feel a bit mysterious, and that adds to the anxiety. Finally, we talk about shared stakes when discussing why an AI struggles to be a good therapist.
Yes, stakes refer to what you risk losing in a situation. If you play a game with high stakes, you could lose a lot of money.
So shared stakes means both people in a conversation have something personal on the line. They both experience human vulnerability.
Exactly. An AI has no shared stakes because it cannot feel pain, it cannot lose its family, and it cannot die. It shares no human risks with the patient.
Those are fantastic explanations. Understanding these terms really helps us understand the future we are walking into. When we put all of this together, it is clear that technology is undeniably going to change the landscape of work.
Oh, absolutely. But the future looks much more like human-machine collaboration than direct competition.
Right, the boundary is shifting. But by leveraging our unique human strengths, our empathy, adaptability, and relationship building, we can turn automation into an advantage rather than a threat.
The technical execution becomes automated, which frees us up to do the things only humans can do.
I want to encourage everyone listening today to look at your own daily routines. How much of what you do relies on the human element? How much of your value is based on trust and complex communication?
And more importantly, how can you lean into your own curiosity to become a flexible, lifelong learner?
It's a vital exercise. Those who embrace the collaboration will be the ones who thrive. And remember, if you enjoyed this deep dive, please leave a comment, subscribe to the Coffee English podcast, and share it with your friends who are also learning English.
Yes, we really appreciate your support.
I want to leave you with one final lingering question to ponder on your own. We talked about how humans and machines are destined to work together. So if humans and machines are destined to work together, how might our very definition of what makes a good colleague change when the colleague sitting next to you is an algorithm? Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep diving deep.